Welcome, colleagues, to this Ready to Retire series. I realize that so much time is spent on work, focusing on satisfying the now and ignoring the future, the after work. And if you look at our parents, the generation of our parents, and those that are retiring a few years ago, we see them focusing on preparing for their retirement with their retirement package, and this left them in quite a number of problems. That they spent the exact money that they got on their retirement just on maybe raising a structure, maybe getting their vehicle, or sending their children to school, and this makes it difficult for them to survive, and they become destitute just in a few years after their retirement. I therefore wish to just communicate and just give you tips on a few things that you may need to do, even as you are working, as you've started work, and as you are preparing for your work now, as well as for your future after retirement. Now, retirement is not just that fixed date that your employer has put across, that this is when you can retire. Retirement can come in different forms. You may be fired, perhaps you may die, perhaps you may lose the things that you used to work, and they just may declare you redundant, and others, it's maybe the company may just close. Now, what happens after this? Where do you go after this? I'm speaking from a background of being a nurse, and from the background of having seen colleagues that suffered in the year 2013, when a number of nurses, more than 500, were dismissed, were fired, and there were a lot of issues that were going through. Only few that had connections to do peace work and things like that survived. But we see a lot having become destitute, having started struggling and having issues on how to raise funds, on how to sustain themselves. Unfortunately, we lost even some colleagues that did not know where to begin from. Now, this background gives me courage and hope, and the ability to just encourage you and know that you can do something even with the little that you are getting anywhere, and in any circumstance. Now, allow me to just make this clear to you that money will never be enough. Money will never be enough, and money will never be few. In Bemba, I always say, impia tashfula or impia tashakachepepo. It's just how you see, how you budget, how you plan, and how you do these things. Now, in my nursing background, in my nursing training, in my fundamentals of nursing, I was taught that we start preparing for a patient's discharge on the first day of admission. So right the time that we bring you into the hospital, we admit you, we are focusing also on when we will discharge you. So if you have high blood pressure, we are preparing that maybe when the blood pressure reduces to this certain criteria, then we can discharge you. When you have diarrhea, you're having diarrhea 4 times in a day. Perhaps we are saying, okay, if you start having diarrhea once in a day, we can discharge you. You can take the medication at home. We start preparing for your discharge on admission. Now, I would like to use this same principle in terms of retirement. Why don't you start preparing for your retirement on your first appointment? When you get your first job, when you enter into that company, into that institution, into that government institution, you enter into that company, the first day that you get into there, why don't you start preparing for your retirement? Your first salary that comes, why don't you remove a certain percentage as for your retirement? This may sound crazy, because we've got a lot of ambitions when we start in work. We've got a lot of ambitions. Oh, I've seen my friend with a car. I've seen my friend with good clothes and things like that. And these are some of the things that bring us down, that makes us not to plan. We are planning to satisfy the now and forgetting the future. Now, retirement is real. Retirement will come, whether you like it or not. It might come earlier. It might come as someone has planned for you, but why don't you plan it for yourself? So, I said start preparing for your retirement on the first day that you get into your work. Leave a certain percentage, 2, 5%, 10% are the savings. So, for you to prepare for retirement, you need to save. Start saving now. Now, the best way to save is to invest. So, save and invest. You need to invest right. You need to find a right way to invest. I've seen others are doing business, but you need to ask yourself a question to like, this business that I'm doing, is it giving me profit? Is it taking me anywhere? It's not just about traveling, you get stuff, you bring, but ask yourself, like, even after getting this is my capital. How much interest am I getting? From the interest, how much am I saving? So saving is not just for the future. Saving can come also in the near future, not for the far future. So we've talked about two things: save and invest. In the next series, we'll talk much on investing and what to invest. May God bless you, and thank you for watching.